All right, another news story here. It is WrestleMania 40 press conference day. It's called the WWE Kickoff Event for Kickoff Press Event for WrestleMania 40. And so, lots of teases coming in, as we know. Expected to find out what the matches will be for WrestleMania 40 in terms of the main events. And you can certainly find on this channel all the discussion we've had over the past couple of days about this entire Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns, The Rock situation. What do they do? What are the decisions that are made? Have they pivoted to something else? Have plans changed? All this good stuff. Well, here's what we do know. We know The Rock has arrived in Las Vegas for this event, which will take place at 7 p.m. Eastern. And The Rock had a little bit of a teaser on Wednesday evening about what fans could expect at this particular press conference. And it was the language that he used that I think should make Cody Rhodes fans very excited because it's how The Rock said it is what's important here. And I'm going to give you the exact quote. You're going to see it right here on the screen. So they did one of those for, the WWE Twitter account. They put up the video footage of The Rock arriving via plane. They see him getting off the plane at the airport, getting into the car and heading wherever, right? But the camera's on him. And what does The Rock say? Well, here's exactly what he said. The Rock said, "Welcome to Vegas. I have a feeling this press conference will be talked about ... forever. Signing off, your long gamer." So that is the quote, and you can see it. You can break down every single word. We can try to read into what The Rock is saying here. What is he trying to hint at? We don't know specifically, but we do know that The Rock is playing into this just as WWE is at this point, which tells us one thing. Either they feel like they've had this from the start, which, as I've told you guys in other videos, I don't think is the case. I think, if anything, they have decided that the backlash was so strong to The Rock in that segment last Friday on SmackDown and since that they have no choice but to change plans, figure out another way to get there, or maybe there is that percentage that tells you that this was the entire plan from the start, although I'm not seeing that. But here's what we know. Based on their reaction from everything WWE pushed, the We Want Cody stuff on Raw, the commentators mentioning it, everybody bringing it up, Seth Rollins, like other people as well, they're playing into it. And so The Rock, never one to downplay anything, as we know, is clearly playing into this somehow. Like this, they have made this WrestleMania 40 kickoff event in Las Vegas a must-see event in every way, shape, or form. So for that, you can give them credit. Like they've done a great job of building this up. But I think what is important here, as I said, are the words long gamer, which he said from the start, but it's also the hyping that this press conference will be talked about forever. At this point, I just don't think WWE can be that oblivious to saying something like this if all they're going to do is come out and announce The Rock versus Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 40 and Cody Rhodes versus Seth Rollins at WrestleMania 40. No second night, winners meet for any unifying a title or anything like that. If they just announce those two matches as your 2-night main events, I don't think they can be that oblivious anymore as to this. And again, there is the probability that something has changed along the way. Maybe not everything. Maybe a lot of this was the plan. Maybe this was, something that they came up with and it's working to perfection in terms of working everyone. I have my hesitations on that because I think there were just, again, the way they did the segment last Friday on SmackDown just did Cody no favors whatsoever. If you tweak a few things, maybe the backlash isn't as strong. Maybe Cody comes out of it looking a little better. But I can't imagine their sole purpose was to make their top babyface just look like a complete fool in part of that last Friday and just handing over the opportunity he had worked so hard for. But I am willing to say that I think I'm a little more confident now that at least they have a plan here. And they seem very confident in whatever their plan is. The Rock's playing into it. As we said, they played it on commentary, all of this. The Rock doing the long pause. You have to watch the actual video. I'll link it in the description below. But it's that pause. Rock saying, I have a feeling this press conference will be talked about. The long pause forever. You're not going to say that if you have, are someone who has seen the reaction and everything that's gone on for the past week. There's no way The Rock is saying something like that unless they have something up their sleeve here. in terms of how they're going to play this thing out and potentially give Cody fans exactly what they want at this year's WrestleMania. Or, as others have suggested, maybe, this is really as simple as they're going to announce The Rock versus Roman Reigns for Las Vegas next year at WrestleMania 41. That is an option that's on the table. Maybe in some way, shape, or form, this somehow leads to a big match at SummerSlam between The Rock and Roman Reigns. Who knows? But I do think that given the way they've hyped this up now, and maybe given the way they pivoted, maybe that's the right phrase to use after the initial plans, that Cody fans will be pleased after this. I can't say, and this is kudos WWE. I can't say that I feel like I can accurately predict what they're going to do because I think there's a lot of ways they could do it. I don't think heel Rock was the intention from the start, but maybe Rock's playing it up. Maybe he's going to go full on Hollywood Rock here, and maybe he's going to he'll turn this thing, or maybe he's going to be the special referee, all this other stuff. But as I've said before, it still doesn't explain why Cody would say he's not facing Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. That was the one part where if you just leave that out, it just prevents a decent amount of this. Doesn't prevent it all in terms of the backlash, but if you just don't say that phrase, then you've got to somehow work it back in if you are going to get to that match. So we'll see. Like I said, I think what's interesting here is the way The Rock is hyping it up, the way WWE seems very confident at how they're going to execute this thing, and we will see if they pull it off. I am a little more confident now than I was a week ago for sure. Even more confident than probably on Monday after Raw, because of how they're kind of leading into some of this and really making you think that there is something that's going to happen here that's going to give you what you want. The problem is we just don't know yet what that's going to be. But like I said, I at least think that we are in a different era now in WWE, whereas in the past, I could have banked on the fact of saying maybe they are just this oblivious or they just choose to ignore the response to this. I don't think that's the case here because you wouldn't have The Rock playing it up like this, giving this huge sort of press conference teaser that's going to be talked about forever. Like that's a bold phrase, and like I said, The Rock's not one to downplay anything, but to say that this will be talked about forever, even if it's just hyping it up, that's a strong statement. And you know that the fans are on edge right now, and they're going to read into everything. They're going to lean into anything you give them. So to say that, that's strong. That's a strong way to do it. So they better have something that's going to give people what they want. And if they don't, then who knows what's going to happen leading into this already very interesting road to WrestleMania 40 for WWE. So again, be sure to tune in to the kickoff event that is 7 p.m. Eastern. I think that's going to stream live on Peacock, WWE Network, whatever. Also probably on social streams, I would guess, for WWE. And we'll talk about it more here at Wrestling Reaction. What comes out of it? What are the matches that are announced for this year's WrestleMania? What are the main events? How do they play it? Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. What are your predictions for what they do at this press conference? Are we going to get Cody finishing his story this year at WrestleMania? Or are we going to get The Rock versus Roman Reigns? And that's that. Cody has to wait. I'd love to know what you guys think heading into this kickoff event in Las Vegas. But appreciate you watching as always. That subscribe button. Always appreciate you guys' feedback. And so hit that subscribe button, trying to grow the channel here. We're new, and what a time we picked to jump into this thing with this, again, very fascinating road to WrestleMania 40. Thanks again for watching. We'll talk to you again here soon at Wrestling.